Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to a preview video for the Wildcard Game of Civ4 AI Survivor Season number 6. There's a whole bunch of leaders in this game, so let's go ahead, load up the map, and get started as quickly as possible. Alright, so the Wildcard Game, who is in this game? Well, the Wildcard Game is made up of all the leaders that did not finish in first or second place in the opening round, but also were not eliminated. So it's essentially our last chance game. You didn't top two, so you didn't move on to the playoffs, but you also didn't get eliminated. So you got one last opportunity to try and make it to the playoffs. And that's what we've got in this particular setup here. Here are the resources. We no longer have any seeded leaders. It's just leaders who all found themselves in this game. So let's just go around in a circle and we'll try to highlight each leader. I'm going to try to do this quickly because we do have 9 of them in this game, which is larger than our normal games. All right, so our first leader here in the northwest corner is Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is probably the most aggressive leader in this field. Very militaristic, likes to declare war, likes to go for conquest, also sometimes likes to go for cultural victory, but that's probably not what we're going for here. I wouldn't say the starting position is great for his starting text with the fish and the 2 pig resources, but he's certainly someone who's had a lot of success in the past, very narrowly avoided being the champion of Season 5. And this is his chance to get back into the playoffs here. All right, the north central starting position belongs to Wang Khan. Wang Khan is a fan favorite. There's a number of fan favorites in this game, a lot of popular leaders. Wang Khan, well known for kind of trolling the other leaders in the field, doing wild, crazy, wacky stuff that entertains the people on the live stream. He's got a starting position with some nice resources here in the center. He may be one of the leaders that founds a religion. We're probably going to have some pretty intense competition for who founds the early religions in this game. And he always has the financial trait to fall back on. So he's got some rivers. He might be able to get good use of that. We'll see what crazy stuff he gets up to in this game. To the northeast, we have Pericles, who is known for chasing after a cultural victory. Philosophical creative are some of the best traits you can have for a cultural victory, and he's won by culture a number of times in the past. He's had some good success in past seasons by looking to push culture. He also has a somewhat more sheltered position here on the northeast corner, and the one other thing I should mention is we do turn on Raging Barbarians for the wildcard game. This region in the middle, this jungle region, should be a wild breeding ground for barbarians, so expect to see a lot of barbarian activity there. Pericles may be a bit more sheltered up here, and the creative trait also pops borders, which helps keeps the barbarian spawns down. All right, down here to the south, we have another creative leader in the form of Louis. Louis is the one of the French leaders in Civ4. We have changed his color to white so that it stands out a little bit more from some of the other leaders with like that dark blue color. Louis also likes to build wonders, industrious, creative. His traits don't really synergize all that well, and he's been sometimes effective, sometimes not so effective in past seasons. He does have this wet rice at the start, which is going to synergize nicely with this starting text, and a whole lot of commerce between these ivory tiles and this gem tile right here. But he's in the middle of the map, and he's got a lot of jungle, so it may be difficult to expand beyond this. He also may get hammered by barbarians. I guess we'll have to see. Down in the southeast corner of the map, we have Wynakapak. Wynakapak is another one of the most popular leaders in AI Survivor. He is the top scoring leader in AI Survivor history, #1 out of the 52 leaders. And he also is the leader who won the Season 2 championship. So certainly a leader who's had an awful lot of success. He is in a position that looks pretty good for him with a wet corn at the start that synergizes with his starting agriculture tech. And he's also going to have stone here, which he can use with his industrious trait to get early wonders. Now, that said, he also has a backline down here. He might get rammed with barbarians from down there. We'll just have to see. But I think his starting position is pretty good in this one. I expect he'll be one of the favorites in this game. Now, off to his west is a high peace weight leader, Lincoln. Lincoln's kind of famous for being a very pacifistic leader. He rarely declares war, doesn't declare war at please, usually just looks to build along without getting on anyone's bad side. He has a starting position that looks pretty good for him as well. He's got a wet wheat here, and then he's got a gold tile, so he can connect this immediately at the start of the game. Lincoln is kind of infamous for being the second most peaceful leader in the game, second most peaceful. And speaking of the second most peaceful leader, over here to his west, we have the most peaceful leader in the game, Gandhi. Gandhi, another fan favorite. I mentioned there were a bunch of them in this game. Gandhi is well known for just being obsessed with anything cultural. He almost never trains units. He has a very low train unit emphasis, but he loves to get religions. He loves to build wonders. Anything that's culture related, he is going to be all over that. And in this game, he's also pretty fortunate in he has a very peaceful leader to his right in the form of Lincoln, and another peaceful leader to his west in the form of Roosevelt. But not so good for him. This game has raging barbarians. So is that going to work for Gandhi? We've never seen him in the wildcard game before. So whether he's going to be able to survive the incoming flood of barbarians, that should be pretty entertaining to watch. So I think a lot of people are going to watch him in this game. And then over here to the west, I mentioned the other American leader. We have two Americans in this game. So we've changed Roosevelt to red for the other American color. Roosevelt, another peaceful leader overall, likes to build wonders with that industrious trait. Doesn't really stand out all that much. He's just kind of like a generic, more peaceful AI. He's a bit sheltered here in the southwest corner, might not see as much barbarian activity, so that may play well in his favor. And then finally, the last leader over on the western edge of the continent, we have Zara Yakub. Zara, the runner-up in season 1 of AI Survivor, hasn't done so great since then, but has drawn a starting position here on the western edge. I don't know if this is the greatest start for him either. He does have the creative trait, which is going to help him pop barbarians, but has drawn quite a bit of jungle. I mean, there's some space to spread out here to the north and the south, so we'll see what he's able to do with that. But I don't know if this start really synergizes that great with his starting techs either, which are hunting and mining, if I remember correctly. All right, so let's zoom out and take another look here. Here's all the resources again for folks who want to get a look at what this looks like. We will be running this game a week from today. As I'm recording this, it will be on July the 9th, 2021. July 9th, 2021, starting at noon Eastern time. You can look up when that is in your local time zone if you're not in eastern coast of North America. We run a picking contest for these games, and I will be putting a link to the picking contest under this video description, so check that out. If you're new to this, you can feel free to toss in a prediction, and of course, most of you watching this probably know this already. So once again, I hope you guys will be there to join us next week for the wildcard game of Season 6 AI Survivor. This should be a fun one, you guys, but between the Raging Barbs and the 9 leaders, this one's going to be pretty spicy. So until then, I hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, and I'll see you guys again soon.